Welcome to the show, Tough Times Never Last. I'm Michael Kuzilny, and this is the lovely new co-host, Mary. How are you, Mary?
I'm great. Good morning, Michael. Good morning, Anja.
And we've got the great Anja on the couch. This is a story of hope and resilience. Anja has had a serious medical condition. She almost died a few times. She was about to get married last year, a month from getting married, and found out her man was cheating. So it's a great story of inspiration and how to get over tough times. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
So where did it all start, Anja?
Basically, I was working. I used to compete in martial arts, training 6 hours every afternoon, and I put a lot of pressure on myself, and your body gets to a point where it's just like, I've had enough, and everybody hits a limit. So my body hit that limit a week before my fight, actually. And
what was your condition, Anja? Tell us about your condition.
So at first I didn't know what it was, but it's called leaky gut. And the technical term is intestinal permeability. So basically what happens is your intestines absorb the good and get rid of the bad. But what was happening to me, it was doing the opposite. So I was breaking out in hives, I was swelling, I was getting chronic fatigue as well, and I was having anaphylactic reactions. So my throat was swelling, my face was swelling, I was unrecognizable.
Did the doctors know what the diagnosis was?
No, they had no idea. They had no idea. I went to specialists, I went to a whole bunch of doctors. No one had no idea. They put me on steroids for a while and also antidepressants as well. I tried it for 3 days, didn't work. And I was so sleepy. I was so sleepy. And then I went to see naturopaths. They actually guided me towards like a natural way of healing and what's going on
inside. And Anja, but you got really sick, didn't you? You almost died, you said, about 5 times.
I had 5 anaphylactic reactions.
Yeah.
And I had an EpiPen as well. So you jab this thing in your thigh.
Yeah.
But it wasn't effective. So there were times I just had to go to the hospital. I drove myself to the hospital. A couple of times I was at work. There was an ambulance, got taken to the hospital. Jeez. Or a family member had to take me, and they had to give me an adrenaline shot. And then that's when the swelling started going down. It took about an hour.
How did you fix yourself, Anja? There'd be a lot of people watching at the moment. They're going, poor Anja, but how did they want solutions. How do we fix ourselves? Yeah. That, and then I want to talk about the relationship as well, because you're mentally resilient. When you walked in before, you didn't seem like a depressed, anxious person. But talk to us about that, because that's what so many Australians are needing at the moment, some inspiration. How do we do it?
It is your internal, so everything that goes into your body, 100%, but your mindset is like a massive thing.
Mindset, that's so true, Mary.
Yeah. Mindset is a massive thing. Healing your trauma, facing your trauma, facing your fears is the hardest thing, but it is the thing that you need to do the most to actually get past it and to heal.
Anja did martial arts for 20 years, but another interesting story, she was going to get married and a month before the wedding, which was already planned, she found out that her to-be husband was having affairs.
Yep, he had a thing for prostitutes, for teenage girls, and he cheated on me with a 22-year-old girl in Bali on a surf trip.
God, can you imagine that, Mary? Like, get organising the wedding and everything and inviting the guests, and then that happens, huh?
We met, we were friends, we got to know each other. I thought he was the one, and things were going great. And then he started slowly, taking that mask off. Right. So then he was like super stressed out. He always played the victim. And I was like, you know what, just go for the surf trip. Go. And go clear your head, because we were running a business together as well. So he went on his surf trip. His first night, he met with some girl, and I found out because when he came back, he started telling me like just crazy things. He started telling me I'm crazy, I'm insecure and all this, and then did that for about 7 months because I knew something was off. When you just get that gut feeling something's off, it's just like, I knew something happened. And he's like, I swear on my children's life, he has two girls, by the way. So He's like, I swear on my girls, I would not cheat on you. It's like, all right, leave it. But that feeling kept coming back. And this went on for 7 months. So then he finally confessed a month before the wedding. I was just in complete shock. And I looked through his phone, and that basically confirmed that he cheated on me on the first night of that surf trip. And then there was the prostitutes, the escort staff, and all just really just...
Anja, did he confess just from guilt?
He confessed because it's like, I don't know how I'm going to live with myself because I've hurt you so much. It wasn't, I'm sorry. He never said, I'm sorry. It was, I don't know how I'm going to live with myself. When he confessed outside of the business, and this is after work, and I was just so angry and so in shock. I was like, don't touch me, don't even talk to me. I got in my car, drove home at 150 kilometers per hour, hoping to crash into something.
Gee, viewers, and it's certainly, I'm glad that Anja's sitting here and she didn't have that an accident, but isn't it amazing there's so many people with relationship problems at the moment, and Anja thought she found the love of her life, and first time she decided to get married. And then how do you recover from that? How do you then not fall into the pit of depression, I suppose, you know?
You fall into the pit, and you can't not fall into it.
Because not many people care, do they? We always think that everybody cares, but everyone's got their own issues out there, haven't they? So we're pretty much on our own, aren't we? I always think that we come here naked by ourselves, we die naked by ourselves, and it's really our take on it, isn't it? Our take on this problem.
No one's coming to save you, unfortunately, and that's the reality. You have to save yourself. You have to be your own best friend. You have to be your own hero.
Where was the point that you said, right, enough's enough?
So when I found out, he was trying to still talk to me and still trying to fix things, and that's when I found out he had a secret son that was disabled, he wouldn't financially help. He's deaf and he's never going to be able to walk. He's 3. And I just went, oh my God. And that was a whole month of him trying to get me back. And then 3 months after I left, I was just depressed. I just was yuck. I was sad. I couldn't focus. I left with some clothes and my surfboard, took my car, stayed in my car, and that's it. Everything else, I just was doesn't matter.
Wow.
Yeah.
And viewers, Anja was saying before, how do we get through these difficult times, through the trauma? She said, just go with the flow, just surrender it all. And I think that's the point, isn't the acceptance of it all, isn't it? To really accept that life comes with, that sometimes the universe will come and kick you in the guts, won't it?
No, you've got to embrace the darkness. You do fall into the pit. You fall into the anxious part. You fall into it was my fault and I don't know what I'm going to do. My life is over. But you know what? You have to embrace that.
There's a real detachment as part of that, isn't there?
Yep.
You know?
You embrace it. Yeah. You love it. You let it go.
And then to get back on top of, to be happy as you are, gratitude's important, yeah?
That whole journey, I'm even grateful for him for doing that to me. Because once that happens, something completely shifts in your body. Gratitude is just one of those things.
That's amazing, viewers, isn't it? Because, and I'm quite impressed with Anja here, very authentic and courageous, sharing a story. Because most people wear their social masks, aren't they? They're too scared to, you ask them, how are you? And they go, I'm great. And how are you really? I'm busy, you know? There's a lot of bullshit out there, isn't there? But isn't it lovely to have authentic people who just say it the way it is, you know? Yeah. And one of the big lessons we get out of all the interviews, Mary, is that just to be independent towards the opinions of other people, you know? Yeah. That's important, isn't it?
You have your own journey, you have yourself, and you know what? No one is going to be like you. And that is what is special about you.
But a lot of the time, we don't even realise that we're worried about the opinions of other people, you know?
And you know what? No one's focused on that. They're all focused on themselves. Because this world, this society has made people so, not in a toxic way, but everyone's so focused on themselves. It's all about me, me, me.
You're so right. It's all about me, me, me. And I find, viewers, there's not much kindness in recent years, you know. So if you can get anything out of these interviews, it's just to smile a lot more, be a lot more authentic and lift people up, you know, show a bit of loving kindness, you know. Because you're right, it's so many people, it's just me. Yeah. Got to smash that ego on the ground, don't we?
Yeah. But the ego as well, it's also integrating that with yourself.
Yeah.
You can't get rid of it.
No.
It's always going to be there.
And another thing I was saying, Anja, is that's right. Once you left that relationship, you didn't dwell on it too much, you know? Because I always think that a regret is to reinfect. You know, it's that programming inside the mind, and then you start attracting a similar situation, don't you? So you lifted your vibe, so to speak, yeah? We were talking about frequency and vibes.
Yep. When you dwell and when you stress, when you worry, when you feel guilty, that's a lower vibe. Once you go, okay, you know what? Thank you for this journey. Thank you for the pain. I'm grateful for everything I have now.
Yes.
You lift that frequency.
How do you find the motivation to say, hey, I'm getting up today, I'm going to be surfing, I'm going to get my life together, I'm going to the gym, when you're sitting in bed and you're not feeling good?
There are days, especially as a woman, as you know, like there are days where I feel like crap, you know? And those days where it's just like, okay, I'm going to validate that feeling, acknowledge that feeling, be with that feeling. And once you do that, it's like, you know that friend that comes to you and I'm upset because I want to vent? Your feelings are the same thing. Once you acknowledge and validate that, it goes away. And then you're like, okay, what am I going to do?
That's such good advice for you, isn't it? To acknowledge your feelings and to really, if you are going through a difficult issue, to really make friends with yourself, because once you make friends with yourself, you'll never again be lonely, I heard once. So a lot of people don't reflect on their life journey. They're always busy talking to people because they're too scared to spend time by themselves. But if we start spending time in ourselves, reflecting on the good and the bad, there can be beauty in the messiness of life, you know. And that's what you found, beauty in the messiness of life, yeah? And look at you now, you're happy, you're smiling. What are the plans for the great lady over the next 12 months?
In terms of plans, I've grown up in a way where there's been always so much expectations, and I'm just like, you know what? Doesn't matter. I started a new career and I just want to enjoy life. I just want to be. I just want to live in the moment, and what comes will come.
A final part of advice, and yes, so there might be people out there going through the relationship problems. There might be people out there who might have lost a loved one to death, or there might be somebody who going relationship problems and they're thinking of taking their lives. How can they snap out, except of course with professional advice, snap out of that thought pattern for the people really going through some difficult times? They don't want to leave the house. They don't want to talk to anybody.
They have to be with it.
Be with it?
They have to be with that. Really be with that horrible feeling. Really acknowledge the horrible feeling.
To go through the fire.
You have to go through the fire.
You've got
it's
to go
like
through
fear.
the fire.
Walk towards the fear. Don't run from the fear.
That's such great advice for viewers, isn't it? You know, often we go through things and we try to avoid the feelings, but if you're going through the fire, just go through it and there'll be sunshine on the other side, you know? That's such good advice. Go through the fire, you know? And when you come out on the other side, you'll be so much more mentally resilient, more authentic, you know? And maybe get,
People will literally ignite the inner queen or the inner king.
That's amazing. Well, thank you very much for coming on, Anja, and we'll find the interview the next guest now. Tough times never last. Thank you for joining us. Now, Veronica is a very inspirational guest. She's going to explain it better, but I think one of her family members tried to set up in a marriage. Then she escaped from overseas, got married. That didn't work out. Then she became a dentist, and a very good one at that, and bought herself a Harley and got a bit of artwork. Thank you very much for coming on. You're so happy. I see your Facebook, and you know, you're full of joy. But it wasn't always that way, Veronica, was it?
No, it wasn't. No, but yeah, I think, you know, when you start to rebuild your confidence,
Yeah.
and try to make people happy in your life because you're a happy person. You try, and
And you cheer so many people up, which is beautiful,
that's part of life.
A genuine, beautiful person. And arranged marriages. I hear about this, but tell me about that.
Well, I finished my HSC, like most of us did, and my mum said to me, and I got into sports science, so I was going to be a sports teacher. So I was excited about that. Then my mum says to me, because I'm the oldest of 6 siblings, we're going to Lebanon for a holiday. And I said, awesome, excellent. I've worked hard, ready to go, all excited, get there. After about 3 days, it's a beautiful country, even despite all the wars and everything. Get there after about 3 days, this guy kept hanging around the whole time. And I've got heaps of cousins. And so I said to Mum, why is he always hanging around? He's a nice guy, but I've got other cousins who I want to go and see. She said, he's asked for your hand in marriage, and we've accepted. And I was only 18 at the time, so, I've got...
Do you think they sort of pre-planned it, or do you think he just fell in love with you?
No, it was pre-planned when I was in year 7. So I said to her, I don't want to get married. I'm not here for that. I've never had a boyfriend because, I grew up in a real strict Muslim family. And what I say is I love, and, for the record, I come from a Muslim family. I love Muslim people. It's not about saying anything. It's just what happened to me. So my mum was very strict Muslim. We weren't allowed to go out. We we're not allowed to have boyfriends and any of that. So to me, this was like, I'm not interested.
Your mother had sent you overseas knowing...
She was with me. Yeah.
And arranged the pre-marriage.
Yeah, and they had everything set up, like the engagement, the whole thing, and I had no idea.
What did you do when you thought, I don't want to marry this guy? I don't even know him.
I was ropeable. I'm thinking, what? No, it's not going to happen.
Veronica, how did that affect your relationship with your mum?
We were fighting a lot.
Yeah.
And there came to a point where we actually had a punch up.
Wow.
Yeah. She was in demand. This is the man for you, blah, blah. And I said, there's no way.
And then did you escape?
So I ran away for 3 days. I was living in a dog kennel for 3 days, ate dog food. The only way they found me is because the neighbours had to feed the dog and they saw me curled up.
And then did you buy your own plane ticket to go back to Sydney?
No. She gave him my passport and my ticket.
Yeah.
She said, you're not leaving the country till you marry him. So I was pretty much suicidal.
Wow.
And I'm thinking... there's got to be a way out. Please, God, help me.
What did you do? How did you get out?
But the Australian Embassy actually helped me from Syria.
Did they?
I had to cross the border with a fake passport, had to wear the hijab. So they helped me get through to come back to Sydney.
Right.
Yeah, so then I obviously got back to Sydney.
Yeah.
I wanted to study, but as I got home, I didn't do the sports science, so I had to get a job.
How's the relationship with your mum when you came back to Sydney?
It wasn't good. No, we weren't talking at all.
Did you move back home?
Yeah, I had to just to get a job in the meantime, so I became a dental assistant just to get some money in so I can get...
Muslim family, what you did, that's not right.
And viewers, this story gets much better. You're probably going, well, where's this going, this story? She's now a very great dentist and she's happy and she's got a Harley, because there's happy times at the end of this.
Yeah, there is, of course.
I thought I better warn the viewers. They go, where's this going, But then you did get married. You found a man.
Yes, I did. I met somebody and
it couldn't have all been bad because you fell in love with this man and got married to him. But then, unfortunately, it faded
Yes,
out.
it did, yes.
Tell us about that.
So, yeah, I met another dentist who he had already been established.
Yes.
He was about 5 years older than me. I was a student at the time, so he helped me we became friends.
You fell in love?
Yeah, we did, yeah. And...
Your beautiful children.
Yeah, I've got 4 kids, 4 great kids, yeah.
You got some great artwork here, beautiful.
Yes,
That's
that
great
was on my
artwork.
bucket list as well.
That's not graffiti, and that's artwork, When did you get that done?
After I got divorced.
Wow. And bought yourself a Harley.
Yes, that was awesome.
What made you do that?
Yeah, I love cars and bikes. I love adrenaline, so I'm a bit of an adrenaline junkie. So, that was on my bucket list to do. And, as a Lebanese woman, it was a big deal to ride a bike. And
so there's 2 different lives. There's the Veronica who sort of doesn't say much, sheltered life and everything. Probably in your marriage, bit quiet, Yeah? And
Yeah,
then-
I was very reserved when I was married.
Reserved.
It wasn't the same as I am now.
Yeah.
He was very narcissistic.
Right.
I did fall in love with him. It wasn't the thing, and he did help me a lot. But then after about 10 years into the marriage, we were married for about 18 years, then he started becoming obsessed with money.
Yeah.
And to me, money wasn't a priority. With, you work, you survive, you do what you got to do for your children, everything in the family. But then it sort of progressed he became hungry for it, and it was obsessing. He was chasing it.
Yes.
And then, then he had an affair with another dentist at work.
And viewers, Veronica's quite right. A lot of people are just so obsessed with money. They think about it every single day. And I suppose we have to, because everything involves money. But this obsession, I know so many people who had millions and they never had a happy year, had a happy decade or a happy life, You just have to realise that we come here naked by ourselves and die naked by ourselves, and whatever is ours will be somebody else's, won't they? So,
And you take nothing with you.
so the constant
except the memories.
chasing. Yeah.
My journey was your health is your wealth.
Yeah.
And I find that, and I say that to people, if you're mentally not well or physically not well, and I've seen a lot of people with my patients who've been diagnosed with cancer, with, they've lost tongues, they've lost stuff, and I've done forensic dentistry as well, in like major accidents where we had to identify bodies through their teeth. It's really, really, it makes you really humble, because it doesn't matter what your title is. At the end of the day, to connect with certain people that actually give you energy is more important than anything. And I've taught my kids that as well. Anyone who drains their energy, get rid of them.
And that's so trivial, isn't it? We've got to protect our own energy, and it's very important, our mental diet, what we let in, isn't it? And I suppose you could say life's too short for useless acquaintances, isn't it? But you're such an inspiration. You're very serious now, but usually you're always smiling
Yes,
and
I am.
laughing.
Happy.
How has it changed, Veronica, from Veronica who went through the divorce, and that takes a couple of years to sort of sort out our mind pattern, to what was your take on it, to say, you know what, I'm going to enjoy it, even if I'm not in a relationship.
Yeah, no, I think, like I said, I focused on myself. You need to love yourself before you love anybody else.
Yes.
And I had young children, so I was taking care of them. They were my priority. With life itself, like people have their own challenges, you've got to embrace the hard times so you can appreciate the good times. Because every person, every family, every couple go through hard times. And if you can't deal with it, and you can't always rely on therapists or medication or whatever it is, you need to self-absorb this and make yourself a better person. So I worked on myself and how to make my things happy without don't get me wrong, I have been to a psychiatrist. I had to be helped that way. But at the end of the day, it's what energy you give other people. I want good people around me. I give good, I'm happy to help people no matter where they're from, no judgment. And I've helped a lot of people along the way, whether they're Muslim, whether they're Christian, whether whatever, through work, through friendships. And I think that's a really important thing.
Well, Veronica, your authenticity is remarkable. Isn't it amazing, viewers? I was saying before, everyone wears their social mask, too scared about the opinions of other people. But what beautiful authenticity, It's quite refreshing, isn't it? Quite refreshing,
Yeah, I'm writing a book about the story as well.
Oh.
So that will be published next year, hopefully.
It's a beautiful story.
Yeah, it's just to inspire people.
Oh, yeah.
And, like I said, it's not against any nationality or religion. I've got beautiful Muslim family and friends and cousins, and I love them as myself. So,
Veronica, how is it? You wake up every morning and how do you do it?
So today's going to be a good day.
You're always so happy.
You got to manifest the goodness. My kids think I'm crazy, but I love it.
Where to from here?
Yeah, good question.
Cool.
Bucket
Yeah,
list. What's your bucket list
I've
from
got
here?
goals. So yeah, like I said, next year I'd like to publish the book. My kids are all grown up now. They're all graduating from uni, which is awesome. So proud of them, and they've been my rock as well. yeah, I'm hoping to get into the coaching side of things, inspire women, young women. Even if I've done a lot of volunteer work as well, because it's not all about money. It's about giving back to the community, which is really important.
And what would you tell women out there who are going through tough times, who are in these arranged engagements or marriages or in bad relationships? What advice could you tell
Well,
them?
these days it's different because you can actually get help. You can reach out to either whatever groups, women's groups, whatever they're available. I don't know what's available out there, but there is a lot. Even a friend, talk to a friend. I think it shouldn't shut yourself out, or a friend at work or someone that you can open up to.
Veronica, I have 2 questions.
Yes.
What's it like jumping on your Harley and just riding along on a beautiful
It's
summer's
therapy.
day?
It's
Yeah?
therapy.
How does it feel?
Forget the world.
Yeah?
I say to my kids, if I don't come back today, I've died happy.
And the other question I've got, most dentists are so... No,
They're so boring.
So boring.
Yeah, they are.
Describe a day at work.
If you go on my Facebook, it's just, we're always laughing. Even my boss now, I've changed him. He's just awesome. Just change your attitude, like at work, just to give that good vibe at work.
Good vibe at work.
Yeah, you have to, because you're dealing with people on the same day. And then people come in and go, I hate dentists. Go, oh, well, I hate lawyers. Whatever. I went on a bike ride with this guy, and I thought, I'm sick of dating guys with bikes. They always want something in return, so they're not going to get it. So I'm going to go ride my own. Yeah, so, and it's really cool. Yeah, it's just different.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
You're working today, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
All the best.
Thank you so much.